Thanks for joining us back to the Ask Ellie Anything video series. Today I come to you with a question from Ahmed in Sydney, who has actually sent me a copy of his plan. Resources are always helpful in answering any of your questions and helping me be as thorough as possible, so thank you for sending through, Ahmed. Ahmed essentially asks, do I need to spend my money on that? So as a part of Ahmed's capacity building supports, in his IDL budget, being his improved daily living budget, there's a recommendation or a paragraph in here asserting that X amount of hours is to be spent on his occupational therapy, with a funding amount next to it. Ahmed tells me that he doesn't wish to use all of this money on his OT, occupational therapy, and thinks it would be more beneficial to utilise a physiotherapist for some of these supports. The thing is when it's written like this, it is simply a recommendation. What is important to keep in mind is that those hours are what the plan has been built on when writing and approving your plan, and goes under the reasonable and necessary determination. So the NDIA delegate has asserted that the amount of hours as written in the plan would be reasonable and necessary for Ahmed to use on his occupational therapy services. That, however, in written like this, is not forced. So if you're going through your plan at home, seeing in your core support, seeing in your capacity building supports that X amount of money is allocated for a certain service, I'd really encourage you just to think of that as a recommendation. When we're coming to review times, it will be spoken about surrounding if it's been used for a different purpose, why? But you as the participant are in charge of your own NDIS funds and get to make those determinations. So just be prepared for some reasoning surrounding why you've made those choices, as I would think that they'd be mentioned at those meetings. Where I've said here that these are a recommendation, the place where that alters is if you see in big capital letters at any point highlighting that something is a stated support. Once again, that will be in capital bold letters saying stated support. So that allocation is simply for that purpose that is written there. So that may be for some AT, it may be a certain levelling of support, but that funding that is written next to stated support can only be used for those purposes. Otherwise though, if it's just written without those two words there, stating that this amount has been put aside for that type of service, it is simply a recommendation, although it is what the plan has been built on. Thanks again for joining us today, and together we can navigate anything, including the NDIS.